Okay, so I decided to re-record this video. I honestly felt like it was just a little long, so I want to make it easy and show you what I was saying. So the Tracker Mini is an interesting device, very portable, very fun to play on, battery, everything, the whole nine. It's really good, and at the right price, it's amazing. What you have to get used to on this thing is when you chop a sample, the chops start at C2. So you have to wrap your mind around that. And then your sample middle C, which you can change, starts at C5. So if you can get that in your brain, when you import samples and you chop them, you're gonna start at C2 and your other instruments are all gonna be C5. That helps you out the gate knowing that. And why do I say that? Well, because when you first get on here, you're plugging in notes. So you have to know where those notes reside. On the bigger version, the OG or the bigger version, the pads lit up where they were going to be played. So it was a lot easier to see it. You didn't have to do too much guessing. So this one requires some extra thought into your workflow. And you have to get used to, jumping around and moving and navigating. It I haven't found buttons to be sticky. I've heard people say something about sticky buttons or something. I'm not sure what they're talking about. They're not sticky at all. And if they meant sticky by finger touch, they're not. And if they meant sticky by pressing them down and they stick, they're not either. So I'm not sure. Now, what I will say is the it is very the touch on here. I don't know if they use some type of rubberized coating over the top. Kind of gets a little. It's a fingerprint magnet. I'll say that. But I think they did that on purpose because it gives you some form of grip. Because in between, when I touched like in between these little spots that don't have it, I can see where it's really slick. And if they made this whole thing like that, it'd be sliding in your hand. If you're sitting somewhere, if you were somewhere hot, it would be sliding. So they got this like kind of little rubberized coat. It's not too bad though. Not as bad as the push 2 was. If you had that, you know what that thing was like. I tried one in the store. I was like, wow. No wonder people were complaining. This is definitely not like that at all. So I think it's very comfortable to use in your hand. The one thing that was confusing was the note, knowing how to do that. And the fact that if I hit note here, they show me just the grid, the same grid that you saw that's on the actual OG or the PT Plus, Polyend Tracker Plus, where you have the pads. And that's a bit confusing. So you just have to, the only thing you have to worry about that on is when you're chopping samples, it changes. All right. That's where I'm going to leave that. Okay. So can you play in? Not while it's not, you can press record and play and it'll do the click in, but you can't trigger the pads from anything on here. And that's kind of a bummer to me because I was hoping that if I go, I was hoping that I could just press this button and trigger the notes when I want, especially on drums, because I like a little swing. Now you can put the swing in. You can do the what do they call it under the effects? The micro move. They call it the micro move, yeah, because the micro tune is has to do with pitching. But yeah, you can do the micro move and do it. But it is what it is. So the other option or other thing, obviously, the random fill stuff. If you use this before, you understand you can hit fill and fill in the in spaces or whatever. But you want to be able to make this easy for yourself if you want to play in things. And that's where a lot of people don't want to use these type of devices, is because if you make a style of music where you need to play in, it's not going to happen on the Mini unless you have a controller. And now I'm filming with my iPhone, but personally, I like using the iPhone with it because it's smaller. And if you're sitting on a couch or something, you want to play something in, then you can use that. When I'm chopping the sample up, it doesn't bother me to click it in because I can just put it where I want it to land. But I still wouldn't mind if this trigger button on the center, and this is what blows my mind. Watch. So if I hit record, you see I can play it, right? And I'm playing in the notes. Then I can drop and put them in wherever I want. So why is it that when I press play record, I can't just record that in? That's what I would like to see. I want to be able to record in the notes just with this little trigger here. Because now I get the whole idea of, well, you're using one trigger. What if you want to play other notes? That's true. If you wanted to play other notes, then it would be kind of a challenge. But I could always change those notes later if I wanted to. So to eliminate that whole process and don't even stress yourself out, just get yourself, if you have a phone, just use your phone. These keyboards here do not work unless they're powered. In other words, you're going to need to have, this thing cannot power this keyboard. I can use a battery to power it. I can use an iPad to power it. I can use this to power it, computer that is, but this thing will not power this. And it just is what it is. So I'm going to use the iPad, or in this case for me, I'll be using the iPhone. I'm recording with the iPhone, so I can't use it right now. But just to show you, I'm going to use this. So this is sequence AU keys, and we're in AUM. And that's one of the things I hate is having to, I wish this thing would open without having to use AUM. That'd be one less thing I have to go through. But since it doesn't, we're using AUM, and we're going to play the different pitches right there. So now you can hit it and record in. So it's a lot of fun like that, in my opinion, to be able to record in like this and not have to sit there and I don't want to manually punch in everything. Some stuff I do, and like I said, I don't mind, but when it comes to drums, it's like either I'm going to use the fill. Now, the fill features to me are cool for me personally when you're doing stuff like you want some type of textural background, or you want some maybe percussion that's just randomly playing something. And you can sit there and keep doing it over and over and over till you find something that you like. But yeah, it just depends on the vibe that you want to go with. So I guess it decided it wanted to do this. Yeah. And so it is easy to rename on this thing here. Obviously, you go over here, press track name. I really appreciate how easy they did this portion here. I mean, look at this. I'm just going over to where I want. So like this is the hats. Boom, hats. And then hit save, and now you got your track name. So Polyend's amazing with that. The naming and renaming here and that's a huge part of the workflow, in my opinion, needs to be fluid. And they have found a way to do it in this Tracker Mini. So kudos to them for doing that. Keep that kind of organizational stuff up really good. It just impresses me a lot because there's some, I won't name names. There's some people that need to, fix their naming stuff in the box to make it easier. I don't understand why it's got to be so complicated, but it is what it is. Not everybody has that ability, and they're maybe not focused on that so much. the naming. They did fix it though recently, to give them credit outside of, they did fix it where at least when you multi-pad export, it keeps the pad name versus like giving you some new thing called new sample or something like that. So at least they fixed that. So we'll leave that alone. But the renaming is superb in here, in my opinion. All right. So I'm not going to go any further on this video. I wanted to keep it short. Just wanted to show you there are a few kinks you got to learn to work through. But once you get past those little hiccups along the way, the thing is amazing. I still need to see audio in via USB. Nobody wants to have to plug in lines and cables and all these different things. That's just insane. I mean, this is cool if you need something specifically there. And I get having the line out because you need a headphone out. But even the MIDI in is now, you can do it, obviously via USB-C. I think they need to do almost everything USB-C, just because that's just the way people want to work these days. And if you don't want to work like that, I get it, but all the extra dongles and cables on a tracker that's supposed to be portable kind of defeats the purpose. So I got to have all these lines and 50 different things coming out this thing. So anyway, super portable, amazing. I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Just wanted to brief you on my journey with it and show you what I've learned and kind of know. And hopefully if you like it and you find it on sale or can find a used one somewhere, then yeah, it'll work out. And it's also cool, one more note, and I don't have the PT Plus to show you, that you can switch your card from this one to the PT Plus, the bigger one, and not have to do a bunch of extra stuff. So it just switches over and you can jump right in and start doing your music. Pretty cool if you ask me, but that's it for this video. All right, guys, until the next one, I'm out.